Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with episode 6 in our Aground playthrough. We are going for the full 1000 gamer score in this playthrough, all of the achievements. Currently we have 16. We're at, I think, 190 gamer score out of a possible 1000. And we've kind of reached an important story moment where we're going to confront the Mirrows. They're scientists on the second island that we found, and you kind of need to gear up for this. That's what we worked on in the previous episode. We have the chainsaw, we have an enchanted shield, we have some great armor. So we're in pretty good shape from where we started with just the iron sword and all that kind of stuff. Our damage is now up to 6, and you kind of need this in order to do the next phase. And I guess you don't need is a strong word. There's a part that we want to do while we're over here, but you could avoid it for now and go straight to the Mirrows. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We've got 9 healing items in terms of omelets. We've got some pie. So we're in good shape. Let's head right on over. What's our inventory space? 91 out of 180. And a lot of that is due to the battery weight that we're carrying. So let's head right on over and get to work. I'm going to go underneath here and use our underground passage so we can avoid as much combat as possible. There's a combat intense portion coming up, and we want to avoid as much of that as possible. And yep, we have our shield ready here too. Okay, so here's the ship, and you need to dig out a little bit of the area. And let's... I was going to swap out my drill for the pickaxe, but I guess we left that behind. So that's fine. Let's use the drill. And here is the main entrance, and let's do that first. Why not? So here are the Mirrows, and I don't think we're going to get any dialogue choices until the very end here. All right, so they get ready to attack, right? And I don't think there's anything we could do to avoid that. So you can fight or you can run away. Now, we could probably take them. It would be close. It is a tough fight from my understanding, but the better choice is to run away. We don't want to fight them. I didn't do that in my previous playthrough. I think you kill them if you battle them. I'm not 100% on that, but they have use later, and I know they'll be around later if we run away. So we're going to do that. We escape, and we're back outside. So instead now, what we're going to do, the combat that we did come here for, is inside the ship in these other areas. And they're hidden away here by some of the terrain. And what we're looking for are cracks in the ship's hull. And so here's one of them. And you can see the enter. So let's do that. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't have a source of light. That is important. And we can't carry the lantern because we need the shield. So that was one thing I forgot. Let's head back real quick. We should be able to make the headlamp without too much trouble. And then we'll head right back in there. So if we go in, equipment, lantern, headlamp. There it is. Okay. So we need 1 silicone, 1 steel, and 1 cloth. 1 silicone, 1 steel, cloth. We'll have to purchase the cloth. Can we not? Is it over here? No, we cannot purchase the cloth. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, great. Okay, and that's not going to be in our inventory. Let's grab that real quick. And we can see, I think that will run, yep, 1 power per second. Okay, so let's turn it off for now till we get back over there. And we can see we get an update from the engineer here. So that's kind of our clue. If you come back and talk, have you checked out all the areas around the lab? And that's what we were planning to do. If you go in to, there's 2 broken areas inside the ship, you can learn a little bit more that will help advance the story. So let's head back and we'll go to the broken area of the ship. Headlamp is on. And now we can see okay, that was a bit intense there. You could see why we wanted to gear up. Imagine if we didn't have our new chainsaw and armor and all that other good stuff. That would have been quite a disaster. And we're not going to be clear yet. Yep, there's more. But you can see the spoils in here are pretty good. Lots and lots of titanium. And let's do a heal. And do we have our owl set to attack? I think he is. Yes. Okay. Great. We'll keep him helping us. And yep, this thing can even shoot from range. So we want to make sure we get in close. And there we go. All right, so we're going to clear out the area here. We can tell there's definitely something else up here, thanks to our trusty pet. And he's flashing. Okay, so that means he's out of attack now. So we can feed him. Did we bring any? We brought some cheeseburgers. 4 will fill him up, and he's ready to go again. And this area is a big square. So it's not complicated. You can't get lost. And a handy little level up. That's at a nice time. I think that will refill our health and stamina. And we got up to 68. Not enough for an attack or a defense. I would like to get an extra line of sight. It will make mining and all those things much faster. So we'll take that one. And then I think we'll bank the rest. I do want to get another attack point going forward. So let's just take those and stash the rest. And yep, we did get topped off there. So that's great. And you can see the rewards for coming in here are pretty good. Tons of titanium. Those scorpions can drop batteries. So I'm going to get the entire place cleared out. All right, so we are struggling a little bit with battery life. Let's do this. Let's take this chest. It's got some landmines in it, which we don't need right now. Let's drop some of our empty batteries off. And that'll free up a little bit of weight. And we'll just actually put everything over there. And that way we'll have one quick spot right at the end. We can clear everything out first, dump all of the resources into the chest, and then everything will be there and we can make 2 quick runs back to town. All right, battery life is doing fine. So again, we carried a lot of batteries over here to make sure we didn't run out because our chainsaw and our drill and everything is running off of them. Probably could have brought about half as many and still would have been fine. And we do still have the map, right? So if we hit, we can see here's the area. The entrance is kind of obvious here on the map. So again, it's kind of dark and claustrophobic in here, but a fairly straightforward layout. And if you picked up the map, which I definitely recommend doing, you'll be in just fine shape. That's not a second entrance, right? Okay. Oh, why are we carrying these fish? For healing, right? Yeah, that was a lot of extra weight that we didn't need. Okay, I think that cleared out all of the mining that we could do. All right, so now let's get some of these chests out of the way. And we'll take all the chests as well, so we know we've cleared them all. And we can see we got some uranium coming in now. Which is a very valuable resource and will be throughout the game. Do not waste uranium. If it's there, pick it up. It will be one of the most valuable resources that we need the most of throughout the playthrough. So if you find it, grab it, stash it, store it. Don't ignore uranium when you happen to come across it. And a jetpack. So this is great. Remember our little shady merchant guy who shows up in Sunset after dark sells a jetpack, and it's expensive. I can't remember how many thousand gold it is, but you can get one for free from here. And I think it goes on in place of the backpack. Right, and so it can carry 200. It has a flight height of 6, a speed of 3, and a max weight of 300. It does take 10 power per second, but you can see that's under the flight category. So it only drains power when you're flying, which is important when you're doing a lot of stuff on battery. Okay, carry 200, and our super backpack carries 100. So huge increase into our carrying capacity. Right now, you can see we're at 180, and if we put that on, we should go up to 280. There it is, 280. So huge amount of extra carrying capacity. And when you're inside an area like this, so if you're mining, if you're in a dungeon, whatever, you can walk up, down, there is no flight. So you're not gonna be draining the battery. And when you're outside, you can fly a little bit, but there will be a drain on your batteries for that. Okay, so there may be a couple more here. I don't think they respawn. But they might. There's definitely other areas of the game where in the dungeon areas, the enemies will respawn. So we shouldn't be too surprised if we see those things continue to attack us. And we can see some shotgun shells. The shotgun and the pistol are kind of your other option. for how to tackle this area. I went with the chainsaw. I really like it. But if you're more of the range type player, if you like, guns and shotguns and pistols, you could get one or both of those and equip yourself that way and still get through this area without too much trouble. But one thing to keep in mind, the scorpions do get in your face, and if you're getting melee attacked, your range will have a little bit of trouble. There is kind of a hit delay or a hit recovery aspect to using ranged weapons when something is in melee range. So I like the chainsaw. I think it's just the most solid choice at this stage. Okay, so we've cleared out the area. I do think some of those scorpions are respawning. We have just the one chest left. So what we're going to do now is I'll make probably 2 trips back to town, or 3 trips, whatever it takes, to kind of ferry these resources back, and then we'll explore the rest of the ship area. So we'll accelerate the playthrough while we do that. And there we can see the jetpack was 16,000. So don't be tempted. Don't store up and buy the jetpack for 16,000 gold. That's a lot at this stage in the game. Get it for free in the ship. So that was a better tip than I thought. I didn't realize how much it was. I thought it might have been 5,000. 16 is intense at this point. So one thing to note, now that we have the jetpack, previously hitting up would be how you enter warehouses and buildings and all that stuff. And now that's how you fly, right? So the controls change. Now it's A to enter the warehouse. Okay, so we cleaned out the first area here, and it's just kind of a loot chest, right? There was nothing vital to the story, but some really great resources that you didn't want to miss out. Tons of titanium, oil, all that kind of good stuff, and batteries and whatnot. So great, and now we'll head into the second area that is kind of lower down here. And you can see these guys are called Diode Wolves. So they're pretty tough, but they're melee only. And the chainsaw does make pretty good work of them. Of course, when you have one on either side of you, that can be a bit challenging. Now, there is some, question here. Can you, I'm kind of just trading hits with these guys. Can you hit, defend, counterattack, defend? If you're super precise on the hits and on your timing, you can kind of mitigate some damage. But almost always, if you hit them, they will get a hit back. So, maybe you block the first hit and then counterattack, but their follow-up attack 9 times out of 10, maybe not quite that bad, but fairly often is going to get through. And I'm realizing the enemies definitely respawn in this area, and they do so quickly. And so if they're going to respawn behind me, yeah, not much point in defeating them all, because you're going to have a bad time trying to fight on 2 fronts. So instead, we'll just start advancing. And our owl is out. Let's see if we can feed him. We're in a tight space, so he may not help us at all in this area. And we don't have much food for him. Let's do a summon. And so now we've got these ranged enemies. They're packing a pistol. And so that's why you wanted to bring the shield along, so I can block and get in close, block the hits, and then melee these guys. I will fight some of them and see, but if I start, again, getting flanked, like they're spawning in behind me, I may just run through here. There's one more passage we need to get through, and there is a reason why we're in here other than just to collect loot. Now, thankfully, see, we definitely don't want to be getting hit from both sides. The guys that shoot can't shoot through their friends. Now, they do drop bullets, so that's great. If you came in here with a gun, you can definitely replenish your ammo. And again, we'll just tank those hits while we work through these guys. And look how many. There are a lot, right? They can line up and get stacked pretty deep. But thankfully, only the first one can attack us. So it's not too bad. And because we have the armor on, we're only taking 2 per hit. So that's not too much danger with our health level where it is right now. And again, that's mostly because we took those potions from the alchemist early on. We took those 4 health potions, which is giving us, I think, an extra 200 health. So much easier to engage in these difficult fights. And now I think I'm getting attacked from behind. So we're just going to run to get through. And this is where we wanted to get. So up here is something that we need for an achievement and also to help advance the story. So there are no enemies up at this point, and I don't think they'll follow me up from the level below. So let's go ahead, and now you can see you can read these terminals. And there is an achievement to read all the log entries. So each one of these we'll have to hit, but there's more than just these. So get these, but we won't get the achievement yet. Because we'll need to get the rest of the logs in a couple other areas. But we can get these now. And it does give a little bit of story, a little bit of background on the Mirrows. So, you know, worth reading these in detail when you do your playthrough, or feel free to pause the video or slow down the playback if you want to read it. But again, I don't want the playthrough to kind of grind to a halt as I read these for you. So okay, so that's all the logs in here. Again, no achievement because there are a couple other locations, but we can see there's this cage with a Diode Wolf in it. So we could leave him here. He'll produce sulfur, kind of like the cows make milk and the chickens make eggs back in our farm. But, you know, are you ever really going to return here and run that gauntlet again to get that? No. So instead, you can take the sulfur that's in there, and then we can actually take the Diode Wolf out of the cage, and he would be a new companion. But using him puts us back in this view. And I, again, if you like it, great, go for it. I think he's actually a way better combat companion. He does 4 damage, and I think the owl only does 2, so he's great for that. And instead of needing to be fed constantly, meat like the owl, he takes power. So if he attacks, his battery runs down, he'll charge off of your battery to go back to full. So you don't need to carry the meat as long as you're carrying enough battery power for him. So yeah, really cool, but not for me. Not my style. I need this view. So we're going to stick with this. And on the way out, there's no real advantage, again, to like grinding through those guys. So instead, we'll put up our shield and then we'll just do a little sprint through. And get ourselves out of here. You would get experience. You do get, the resources. They drop some batteries and stuff, but it's not quite worth the investment of grinding through them at this point. Okay, so I think that's all we can do here for now. So let's head back. And while we're going, since we're most of the way here, let's just top off a little bit. And you can see now the reason I took that extra sight, we can see one row further in the mining levels, right? So I can identify valuable resources one more level away and have a more efficient mining. I can, make less cuts, make a better path. So it's just an improved mining, grinding experience. And that's good, perfect, 277, so we would be able to carry another one. And it's nighttime. And I think this time we will just do the full, rest save. We'll spend the 50 gold. Okay, and now we can see the engineer comes out, and we want to talk to her. It's a little crowded in there at the moment. And now that we viewed those logs in that second area, we can see that we figured out who the engineer is. Yep, turns out they're her parents. Okay, great. So she can't help us directly, but she does give us an idea of how to advance the quest without fighting the Mirrows. Find something special to sway them, and that'll kind of be the next goal that we have here. And what we need to do, it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. I don't know if we're going to get actually any achievements done in this playthrough because we're kind of building to the next segment of the game. So before we leave, let's top off the power plant. Recharge our batteries, and we'll bring some good stuff here with us. Let's actually put the raw oil away because we can't use that back at our base. Let's turn it into refined oil though before we go. So one of the advantages to having a jetpack, so max weight is 300, and you can see we are over that. So if you're over that, you won't be able to fly at all with the jetpack. But if your flight is, if you're overweight but you can fly, then you won't have the stamina exertion because you're flying and you're not carrying the equipment. It's kind of cool, and it will come into play later. Right now, the gap between our carrying weight and our maximum flight weight is so small that it's almost never going to come into play. All right, let's leave. We'll leave a couple diamonds behind just as a source of cash. We're going to leave most of the oil here because it runs the power plant. And we'll take some of the sulfur. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna do a quick unload here. It'll take probably a couple trips to get everything put into storage, and then we will figure out our next objective. Okay, we got the boat unloaded. We got a fresh batch of supplies. So the next thing that we're looking to do is head over here. And I wanted to see if our... Right, Alchemist Friend. Okay, he wants us to feed the worms in the worm pen. So let's do that. And you can see they take coal, steak, and then a whole bunch of pigs, chickens. We don't want to spend any of our animals. 8 coal is fine. And you can see we get a cocoon. And let's do the same here. We'll feed this guy. And I was mistaken. We are actually going to get an achievement in this video. So not all is lost. As soon as this finishes, I believe, we get a baby dragon. And yep, there we go. Hatchling for hatching a dragon from a cocoon. So one of those worms that we captured, if you feed it, and it'll go into a cocoon and then hatch, then you will have yourself a baby dragon and an achievement. All right, so that gives us a quest from the alchemist. And let's take a look at what he wants. Okay, great. And so he says there's a dragon lair somewhere in the mountain. If you find it, summon me, and perhaps some secrets can be discovered. So the dragon is on the island, and he is just to the west here. So now that we have the jetpack, we could actually fly over here if we wanted. Can we get all the way up? No. See, we max out there, but we could dig out, this block, and then even though we can't fly higher than that, right, we can dig and walk higher than that. So you can get over here and head on through, and here you can see that little bit of red poking out. That is the dragon cave. And so when I first got here, my first playthrough, I actually found the dragon before I got to this point with the alchemist, and I could see the dragon, and I got this prompt, A, to attack. And I was like gearing up, should I battle this dragon? Like, how would that go? Probably very poorly. But don't do that. Instead, you can summon the alchemist if you've gotten to this point, and it will advance the story in a positive direction. It's not fatal if you don't, but much easier. Okay, so we get an adult dragon, and the alchemist will actually translate for us, which is great. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to get another quest here. Hatch and bring 5 baby dragons, then he will talk. Okay, so we know how to do that. We do not want to attack. So, like I was saying, we know how to make baby dragons. We have all the equipment that we need. That means we have to capture worms and turn them into baby dragons. And then when they're here, you can see we've got these 2 in here. You can pull them out, just like we did with the wolf, the Diode Wolf, in that cage over on Sunset Island. You can pull these baby dragons out, put new worms in, feed them, and they'll hatch into dragons. So we've got 2, we need 3 more. So I think we'll stop here, and that'll be where we pick up next time. We'll finish off getting the baby dragons, and then we'll turn that quest in, because then that'll open up another island in the game, and that'll be great fodder for our exploration in the next episode. So that's going to wrap things up. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.